Hey, Facebook Live, CamiBaker.com here. We are at the Happiness Jungle TV studio, and we are getting ready to record our show live. So just giving everyone a couple of moments to get on our Facebook Live channel, and then we are going to start recording the Happiness Jungle with my good friend and client, Tammy Downing from Out of the Box Tours.
Okay, in 8, 7, 6, 5.
Welcome to the Happiness Jungle TV show. Today, my name is Cami Baker, and I am super excited to be in the jungle with my fellow queen of the jungle, Miss Tammy Downing. We are going to be talking today about fun tours, exciting tours, how she became a tour guide, what her whole story is, and how did she become so fabulous, fierce, and on fire. I love when I can have a client on that is a personal friend and has so much yummy energy. Tammy, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and what had you become a tour guide?
Well, a little about myself. I am a tour guide. Yeah. I own Out of the Box Tours.
Yes, you do.
Who would have thought? And I've been doing it for about 5 years now. Out of the Box Tours came to fruition about 2 years ago. So I did it for somebody else for 3 years. And yeah, it was fun, and I got to do a lot of fun things. You know, I get to go to Broadway on a regular basis. I've been to San Francisco and Houston, like weird out-of-the-box places. And so one day I was on a tour, and the product that I had wasn't as good as what I knew I could do. And I went home and I told my husband, I'm like, I don't know, like I'm giving away these products, and I don't believe in it. And he's like, well, why are you doing that? You need to do it yourself. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I should.
So is this the first business that you've actually run?
No.
Okay.
No, I've had several businesses. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. Before this, I was in healthcare, and I always had a real job. And then the business would be on the side. So this is the first time that it's a business that's all I do.
Well, what I love about this is, I was just sharing with you, there's a running theme with my guests that we've done it for somebody else and then we did it for ourselves. So I worked in bars for many years, and then I owned my own bar, and I worked for a real estate agent, and then I became a real estate agent, and then I was in network marketing and learned about speaking and coaching and mentoring, and now I do that for myself. And so is it with a lot of the guests that we have on the show. So you've done the same thing. You worked with somebody else, learned the ropes.
Yes.
And started, because you find out what you like, what you don't like, what you think works, what you know would work better. Maybe they wouldn't take your advice, and now you just do it for yourself.
Well, yeah, and then that way I know that the product that I'm giving, it isn't somebody else's name stamped on it. It's my name stamped on it, so I'm the one that's responsible. And not that things mess up very often, but occasionally stuff happens, and you know what? I own it. And when it's somebody else's mistake, it's hard to own it. You know, and so you want to take that responsibility, but it's like, I'm sorry. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do this for myself from now on, and then that way it's mine.
And you and I love owning and doing our own thing. You know, entrepreneurs are the only people that will work 80 hours a week to avoid working 40.
I think I work more than 80. But yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm always working. And it isn't, but
it isn't working when it's what you love. Isn't it? Like people say, well, when do you work or when are you off? It's like, I'm living, man.
Literally. I could be in bed at night and I'll hear my phone ding and I'll pick it up and I'll answer an
like,
email.
Oh shit, it's Cami again.
Oh, Cami, what do you want? Yeah, serious though. Like I'll be answering emails at 11, 12 o'clock at night. And then my dogs are up at 6 and I'm out with the dogs and I got my phone, you know, like walking them and doing my thing. And yeah, it never stops, but it isn't a burden. I don't think of it.
I don't think of it as work either.
No, it's just what I do.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's what I do and I make money. So, I mean, you can't really complain.
So let's take a little step back, way back. Well, I don't say way back. A few years ago, when you were younger, like what was your history about? Like what do you think led you up to being such a go-getter, such a motivated, inspiring inspiration to people? Because the Happiness Jungle is all about helping our viewers be happy, be inspired, think, wow, if she can do it, I can do it, etc. So let's give them some of that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I was in the healthcare field for the better part of 20 years. And I always looking for another job. I think you're always doing that when you're in a job. You're always looking for another job and knowing that whatever it is that you get isn't necessarily going to be what it is that you want to do with the rest of your life. So anyway, I wasn't really exactly thrilled with it. And then 2004 came and I thought I had a heart attack. And
Now, how did you think you had a heart attack?
well,
What happened?
Okay, so I had an instance when I couldn't breathe for no good reason, and my arms and my shoulders were all. And my heart was racing. It was just really strange. And I work in healthcare, so I kind of know,
Symptoms.
what the signs were. And I was sweating profusely for no apparent reason, and I was too young for hot flashes at that point. Anyway, so so I went into the hospital, and about 20 years prior to that, my mother had a heart transplant. And I was assured at that time that I wasn't going to need one because it wasn't something that was hereditary. It was a virus. That's what she had. Don't worry about your heart, Tammy. Your heart is fine. Well, then, years later, here I am having this thing, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, come to find out, our family is in the 5% of the population that gets this disease that not non-viral. It's called familial. So it's family, it's brought down generation to generation. So yes, I was told in 2004 that in 10 years I was going to need a heart. And I said, I'm not doing it. I'm not having it. I was in my mid-30s. I just said, forget it, So that really, between my mother getting a heart transplant and me being told I needed one, I think you could become really cynical and really bitter, but I was like, nope, not doing it. We went to Disney soon after. I had the incident. I don't know what else to call it because it wasn't really a heart attack. And all the signs at Disney that say you can't go on if you have a heart condition, I'm like, I'm going on. I don't care.
Well, things that happen to us can either make us bitter or they can make us better.
Yes.
And you took a lot of risks getting on all those roller coasters. But so how did you find out that, you don't need a heart transplant?
Okay, so I said, I'm not doing this. I did go on all the drugs that they told me to go on, and the drug protocols. And they also said that I needed to have cardiac rehab because I had damage to my heart. Even though it wasn't even though it wasn't a heart attack, there was damage there. So they said, you need to be in cardiac rehab, until we tell you different. And so 4 to 5 times a week, I would go and exercise with a nurse and people that were twice my age. And that was a bitter pill to swallow because, it kind of makes it real. When you're in a room with 20 other people and you're the youngest one, and you're huffing and puffing just like they are, having a hard time, and your blood pressure's up, and your blood pressure isn't where it's supposed to be, and you're tacky. That's a stupid medical term. And, it's sobering. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do this to the fullest, and I'm in it to win it, and I'm gonna see my kids grow up, and I want to meet my grandchildren someday, which I don't have any yet. So I worked really hard, and on my 45th birthday, this is what you're waiting for, huh? I was given the clean bill of health saying that if I would have walked in that day and he saw my test results, he would have said my heart was normal. So that night I went out and I got this.
Now she's going to show the tattoo.
I'm probably messing up the mic. But anyway, so I went and I got this. It's a heart to honor my mom because she did need a heart transplant, and to say that I fought it because she was too far gone by the time. She wouldn't have been able to reverse it when they finally figured it out because they didn't really take women's heart issues seriously at the time. And they still don't as much, but it's a lot better than what it was in the early 90s. So, so I went and I got this. And a few years later, 5 to be exact. Everybody knows how old I am now. Who cares?
I'm 50.
I'm 52. No, 50 also. I was told that I don't need to be on meds anymore. I'm done with meds.
Good for you.
Whoop, whoop. So, yeah.
And before we start talking about the ghost tours and the wine tours and the waterfall tours and all the fun, yummy stuff you do, since we're talking about the heart transplant and the organ donation, let's talk a little bit about your passion for educating people about organ donation.
Yes. So, because of all that I went through, and I've had other people in my life that have needed organs as well, and tissue organs, it doesn't matter. I've known people on either side of it, as far as people that have had to make the decision to donate a loved one's organs. And I've also been on the side, of course, with my mother and actually my stepmother as well, who were waiting for a heart and they were both my mother and my stepmother. My stepmother died waiting for a heart-lung transplant. So it really is very near and dear to my heart. And I don't know. I don't know if it's out there very much in New England. I know that they make a lot of efforts to try to get the word out, and that it's on your registration when you on your driver's license when you get your driver's license, and you just need to check a little box. But there's so much more to it than that. You have to tell a family member. You can't just check it off on there. You have to tell a family member, so then when the time comes and they want to harvest your organs, you need to tell a loved one, yes, she did give permission. And I don't know why they do that, but that's what they do.
What is that saying you say, God doesn't need your organs? How do you put that?
Don't send your organs to heaven. Heaven doesn't need them yet.
Heaven doesn't need your organs. So I just want to make a public declaration. I don't need my organs when I'm gone. I've already got it on my driver's license. What the heck do I care? If every organ in me will save 5, 10 people, whatever it looks like, why not? And if they get a little piece of Cami Baker, they might be a little better off. Actually, haven't you heard the stories about people who get a piece of somebody else, their heart or a kidney or something, and they take like they go from not liking beer to loving beer?
That was my mother.
Yeah,
my mother, exactly that. So
so weird.
So yeah, it was because she had her heart transplant in the summertime. And when it was all said and done, and she had been waiting since January, so she didn't get it until the summertime. And so yeah, she was getting ready to be discharged, and she's like, I just want to go to your house, sit around by the fire and crack open a beer. And I'm like, what? Who are you? You've never drank a beer in your life. She was Riuniti Lambrusco. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a long time ago.
I remember Tickle Pink. Strawberry Hill.
Yeah, Strawberry Hill. Boone Farm. But anyway, yeah. Well, that's what she liked, and but yeah, she wanted to crack open a beer, and we're like, who is this woman? And she also got a taste for scrambled eggs, and the woman never ate an egg she never had them in her fridge. So it was the weirdest thing. So yeah, 2 things, and her personality, it didn't change. It was just little subtle things that it's like, who are you?
There's books actually written about that.
Yeah, it's so interesting.
So you're doing a poker run right now that is benefiting several different organizations, and we don't want to date ourselves too much, but what are some organizations that you're actually working with right now? So
right now I'm working with Hope for New Hampshire Recovery. And they're also helping me with the poker run, and I'm going to make this an annual event. So definitely, because it's such a wonderful cause. So between the Hope for New Hampshire Recovery, and so you can come and you can support that, and then beyond that, you can sign up to become an organ donor.
What's the name of that group?
Hope for New Hampshire Recovery.
No, the one with the organs. The organ donation.
Oh, it is Donate Life New England.
Donate Life New England.
Donate Life, yes. Nice. They'll be there and helping people sign up for that.
Harley Davidson is
Harley Davidson is going to be the place where we start and end the poker run. We haven't quite figured out the route yet. We'll have that all set eventually. But
Fun.
Yeah.
And you can go to Tammy's website to find out more about that. And I'm going to get a page on my website because Tammy's a client of mine, and I want to have all my clients' events on my website too. So I'll be working on that. So let's talk about some of your fun tours that you do. And you are adding all kinds of fun stuff. It is not just ghost tours anymore, although the ghost tours are fun.
The ghost tours are my most popular.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. One day, one of my girlfriends said to me, you know, well, when are you going to give me a ghost tour? Because she knew I knew that kind of crazy history about Manchester. And I had tried it the year before, and it didn't really have legs. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And she's like, it's my birthday. You're giving me a ghost tour. And I said, fine, but I'm going to throw it up on Facebook and see if I can make a few bucks. So I put it up on Facebook, and 80 people showed up.
80?
80 people.
Yay!
I know. And so I'm like, okay, I have something here. So I went ahead and, booked a bunch more. And they haven't stopped. I mean, other than the wintertime, they haven't stopped. So that's in Manchester. I do them in Manchester, Concord. I'm starting them in Nashua this year, which is really exciting. I'm getting I'm just getting information now. You'll never believe what happened to me here. And so I'm just compiling all that information and putting together another tour for Nashua. I can do them, and I have done them in Boston and in Salem, but those are by request only because there's other people that do those. And I do couple tours called Booze and Booze. So they're haunted pub crawls. So those are fun.
I get it. Boo and booze.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. See, you're wicked smart. Wicked smart. So those are my most popular for some reason. Everybody loves the haunted history. And there's always history. The history is the foundation of any good ghost story. So
and then the other popular things are the booze. If it's got wine or booze or breweries in it, it brings out the people too.
It's so funny how that happens. So I have several tours that I do. I have what I call my canned tours, so my public tours. So I'll set them up, I'll throw them on my website, and people can sign up and come and do whatever they want. But I also, if somebody wants to get together and have a private tour, if there's a corporation that wants to do client appreciation or employee appreciation, or if there's a real estate agent that wants to do client appreciation, whatever it is, I can pull together a tour, throw everybody on a bus, and let's go drink some wine. Whatever.
Or whatever. And the experience is what it's all about. Social media has made us the most antisocial beings ever. And really what people want is the experience. And so to get on a bus or in a van or follow each other on motorcycles or whatever it is and be together and have someone like yourself to give us a tour of what's going on. So you're doing waterfall tours, you're doing tours with photographers. You mentioned something about doing a photography tour coming up. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so what we're doing is if you are a budding photographer and you've always wanted to learn about lighting and composition and all these words, I don't know what the heck I'm saying because I'm not a photographer. But
Shutter speed, aperture.
Yeah, aperture. Like, I don't know what these things are, but I do hire professionals to come on these tours with us, and we'll go on these tours, and you will learn how to take the photographs properly to get the best result. So, but we're working on getting one that you could do with your cell phone. They are trying to figure out. It's not easy to take. You could take wonderful pictures with your cell phone, but these professional photographers want you to have the nice, beautiful cameras so they can really teach you how to do it manual, not on auto. That's the thing, because everybody does, if they have the good cameras, they do everything on auto, and then you're not getting those cool effects. So that's what you're going to get out of these tours, is the cool effects that you can get with your really fancy cameras. And so we're going to be going to Rye Beach at sunset. So you learn how to use that available light to make your photos even more beautiful. And then some of my tours, we're going to be going to the fireworks after.
Let's give Laura a little plug.
Yeah, Laura, hi.
Perot.
Yeah.
Perrot. She did some photography for me at one of my events recently, and she did a great job. And she's one of the photographers you're going to bring, and because she's going to help people to take photos of actual fireworks.
Yes. So we're going to go to Hampton because every Wednesday night in the summer, Hampton Beach does a fireworks display. So we're going to start off at right at sunset. And then we're going to head on over to Hampton once the sun goes down, and we're going to take pictures of fireworks. And yep, she's going to teach everybody all the bells and whistles. We're also going to hit, and these are going to be, this isn't just a one and done. We're going to be doing these for a while. She's stuck with me. So another one that we're planning on going to is a hot air balloon festival. And then we're going to do fall foliage. And eventually we're going to go overseas and do the fun Northern Lights in Paris and Kenya. You know, oh, can you imagine wildlife tours? So that's in the future. That's the big dream, but we're going to do it.
Nice.
Me and Laura.
So what do you do on a daily basis besides talking to Cami Baker?
Yeah, I know.
What do you do that keeps you so motivated and moving forward and just positive?
What keeps me positive?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm a positive person. I don't know. I wake up in the morning and I start working, but I don't think of it as work. I just get on the computer and I'll be scanning the World Wide Web, looking for really fun and unusual things that we can do, and then I'll make a tour out of it. And it doesn't even mean that it's a tour, like, it's funny because it's not necessarily a tour that I'm going to do. It could be one that, you know, Cami Baker calls me and says, you know, I've always wanted to go dog sledding in February with, I don't know.
Wine.
With wine. Yes.
Not me, but wine, most people.
Or you could whine about it. I don't know. And I'll pull it together, you know. So I put together like these little mock ones in my head, and a lot of times I'll put them down on paper just so I have something to refer to. And yeah, that's what I do. I love the creativity of it.
I've been listening to Les Brown, which our other host, Miss Lindy Eldridge, loves Les Brown. As a matter of fact, she's part of their organization now. And one of the things he says is it is better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have an opportunity than have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Oh, yeah.
So you're prepared. People come to you and they say, hey, I want something unusual. I want to take my clients on something special. And I think the client appreciation, and I've been talking to you a lot about that, is really important because people want an experience. And instead of just sending a client a $50 gift card and say thanks for your business, or having people come to a boring conference room for dinner, I mean, to get them together and go on a zip line.
Oh my gosh, yes, zip line. I've even had them do, you know, because probably one of the most inexpensive tours I offer are the ghost tours. And I've had them just bring them on a ghost tour, a food tour. We have progressive dinners. We'll start off at one place and we'll have our appetizer, and then we'll move on to the next place and have our salad course and our entree and our dessert and then our coffee. I mean, you know, and I've done that with corporations and they love it. People love it.
I went on one like that in San Francisco a couple of years ago.
That's where I learned about it.
San Francisco gets a plug. And they were like treasure hunt, like going on a treasure hunt.
Oh yeah, scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
Yep, I do those as well.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. Again, okay, I say I do these and I have done them, but I also have a bunch in here that are in that file drawer that I told you about that I haven't done. You know, I got a ton of them, only done 2 or 3. So.
Yeah, but you've done them and you're very creative. And one of the great things about going on a Tammy tour, Tammy tour, is how energetic you are. You know, I've been on tours where, you know, you're on a bus in New York City or something and the tour guide is good or the tour guide is bad. And so you make the biggest difference in the whole thing. And I just really want people to really resonate with that. Now, you're putting something together for a real estate agent right now, aren't you?
Yeah, so, yeah, she's pulling together a client appreciation. We're going to, and it's still very much in process right now, but she's going to get her top 40 clients together. She has some return people that they buy houses every other year. I don't know why. And why would you do that? But anyway, people do it, you know.
Changing a car.
Yeah, Yeah, and so she has these folks, and we're going to get them on a bus, and we're working on wine, chocolate, and cheese tour.
I think it's fabulous for a real estate agent that has, especially if they're working with buyers that are moving into the area. You know, if you're a real estate agent and you've had 40 people move into the state in the last year, why not get them all together and introduce them to each other and show them all the hot spots in the 30-mile radius or whatever?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and that's part of it too. That was going to be the next one that she was going to work on, is having them having new people to the area come in and then have me give them a tour, because sometimes you don't know. I remember when I first moved to Manchester, I didn't know where the local Walmart was. And I remember going up and down South River Road in Bedford, because that's where I was told it was, going, there's no Walmart here, not knowing it was just up the hill.
Right.
You know, so just these little things that would help folks that are moving into the area as well.
Well, and I know you're a part of New Hampshire Made, and getting people, so we've only got about a minute left of the show, but just to put a plug out there, the people have local artisans that do glass blowing or flower arranging or make chocolate, make cheese, like whatever, local people. That's a fun tour too.
Oh yeah, those are some of my most popular tours. So yeah, if you have some kind of product that you make on site, instead of going to these, and not saying that the expos aren't fantastic, but you can show people right where you are what it is that you do. So, and this really gets the client engaged, and it kind of tugs at their heartstrings, because they actually see what it is that you do, how you do it, where you do it. So if you own any kind of business like that, let me know, reach out to me, and I'm gonna do my best to get you on that tour, because I want as many vendors or clients in that way as well as I have clients sitting on the bus.
Well, so many people are wanting to work with American-made companies. How much better does it get for it not to just be American-made, but actually local-made? And there's a lot of restaurants. I'm sure you have some on your tours where they use only locally sourced beef and water, etc. I've met a guy that makes stills. Another guy out on the seacoast that makes the spirits with local water and the whole thing. So. Well, we are coming to the end of the Happiness Jungle, and we are so excited to know where to find a good tour.
That's right.
Out of the Box Tours, who is also going to be having a book, if I have anything to say about it. CamiBaker.com, Happiness Jungle. Thank you for being with us.
Yay. Now they come out and pull this away.
Yeah.